For my next video on tips for brides-to-be, I want to talk about making things going as smoothly as possible for the wedding day itself. Now, one of the things that can set back and mess about with timescales that you may have set is when things can go wrong with jewellery, for example, you know, small disasters which can be fixed mostly, but takes a bit of time. So for my tip, what I suggest you do is keep everything in a small box of all these items that you're going to wear, your jewellery, being your earrings, necklace, if you're wearing it. And I'm merely giving this for people who have a lot to wear on the day, for example with an Indian wedding, but you know, any bride can take this away with them. So take a big box, a clear box preferably, so you can see what's in it, but any kind of shoe box, or you know, a glossy box would be ideal, empty glossy box, something like that, of that size, and put everything in it that you know you're going to wear as you start buying them and collecting them. Think that will be your hairpins, your tiara, anklets if you're going to wear them. It will be, what's that thing that you wear around the leg, the garter belt? Put the garter belt in there, you know, all jewellery items, and at least then it's all in one place. Once you've got everything together, you then want to check things. So check all your jewellery pieces and make sure that none of the stones are missing. If they are, take them back to the store you bought them in, and they will be able to replace it for you. They'll have a little box with all the different pieces in it, and they can easily put one in for you. And that's also really good for, say you've had this piece for a year, you don't have to be a bride, but if you've got an item and it's missing a stone, they will take it back, especially with the Indian shops. They don't have any qualms about doing that for you. Also want to check the earring posts and make sure, give them a wobble, that they're not loose, and that the backing post fits onto it. I don't know, I'm calling this a backing post, but make sure that part fits as well quite snugly, because if it's a heavy earring you don't want it then dangling like that, like my sisters did on my brother's wedding, and in the end it was so poorly fitted it fell and broke. The post actually broke off. Take off tags. This tag here is put in with a plastic tag. Sometimes they're thread and they can take time to remove. Also put everything on beforehand and just see how it fits and that it fits well. Preferably you should do this before buying. I didn't do that with this necklace set, and what's happened with this one is that it pinches here into my skin, into my neck. There, and it stays risen up here. Now that's going to bother me on my wedding day. Not that I'm getting married again, but it would bother me whatever day I wore this. So my poor girl has to suffer on Sunday when she wears this for the bridal fair that I'm doing. But after that I'm taking it back, and I'll either get them to change it or adjust it for me, which they should be able to, because it's got a little adjustable hooks at the back of this piece. Again, check all the stones that nothing's missing. I already checked this one and it's fine. I'm really proud of this piece because I kind of adjusted this to make these side strings. So this was just a digger that came like that, and then I wanted it to be a mathabadi, so I made this string of beads and attached it to the digger so that it makes a really, really beautiful piece like this. I'm just showing off here now. So it makes a piece like that. Looks really beautiful. But my point of taking this out was that check that the clasp here, or the hook, is nice and secure, and that this is not weak, this actual piece here, because I have had a case where the bride's one actually fell off. It doesn't matter too much if it does, because you can always put pins through the ring around there, but you know, when they do come off and it's unexpected, you know, it can break a bride's heart. Also with these, you want to check with all the pieces is where you've got a link here, that there's no open gaps in that link where over the course of the day something could pop out of there. That would just be a disaster for a wedding day. So do check that. In the case of a bride I had, now I'm going to talk about real life things that have happened on bridals that I've been on. There was supposed to be a piece like this for a bride's jewellery set that I had. But what she got was a digger, what she thought was just a digger, with this pit attached to the digger so cleverly that you couldn't tell. It was just like that. Where you've got these little round beads, they were just little beads hanging from here, and I just thought, initially when you look at it, you think it's just one piece. But what happened is that at some point it was separated like this. It was a matabadi, and there should have been another one on this side, and it must have broken off, and the set was sold. It was adjusted and sold to be just a digger on its own, and it looked really odd because I put the digger on the head and I couldn't understand why there was only beads running along this side and not on over here. And then when I looked more closely, where the two bands were attached on either side, there was a little broken ring, so that's what gave it away. What I did on the day to help the situation was those red beads. I kind of weaved them underneath the digger so some poked out on the opposite side, so it wasn't obvious. But in somebody's wedding photograph, if I hadn't have done that, that would have been really noticeable. It's quite obvious when I say this, but when you go to buy your jewellery, take your time and choose it. I had a girl who sat here for a trial, and I noticed that her jewellery set didn't match her outfit. It was the tone of the gold on the embroidery on her outfit didn't match the gold that was in her jewellery set. I think she had antique on her outfit, and she had like a yellow gold in her wedding set, or it was vice versa. I can't remember exactly, but I just remember it didn't match, and she spent quite a lot of money on it, and it was bought in India, and obviously she didn't want to go and spend any more. She was on a very tight budget as it is. You know, and when I asked her how that had happened, just out of interest, she'd said that they were so tired by the time they bought the outfit that they had the outfit with them, but they just picked up a set. They felt pressured into buying it. The assistants were like, you know, it does match, it doesn't show, and you know, they were really sort of hard selling it, and she went and bought it. She said she was so fed up by that time and ready to collapse, and you know, they bought it and then, you know, regretted it afterwards. But there was no choice. They couldn't go out and buy another one. So, yeah, just take your time. You don't feel pressured to buy it there and then. Get your outfit, go home, have a cup of tea, and go back the next day or another day with the outfit and with a cool head. Choose your accessories. And make sure you always have your outfit with you. It's really, really important. I made the classic mistake at the weekend where I had to buy this set that I just showed you to match a sari. Now I'm pretty good. I tend to remember colours quite easily, and I needed to get something for a blood red sari. So I bought this one. I was shown some orangey red style stoned necklace sets, and I thought they were too orange, and I thought this one matches perfectly, but in putting it next to the sari itself, it's a little too dark, so do bear that in mind. I'll get away with it. Same with the bangles. Put your bangle sets together, tie them together, put them in cellophane, and make sure they're or in a proper bangle box, and keep them together in the set as to how you want to wear them. And make sure nobody touches them. In a recent wedding I had, they accidentally got scattered by mistake, and we were really running out of time as it is, and it just, that extra sort of 5 minutes or 10 minutes it took to put these jewelry together, which was about that big, it did take a while to do, and you just don't need that on the day when you push for time as it is. Bindis, these are actually just hair stickers, so these aren't proper bindis, but with proper bindis, especially the ones here, make sure that they are really sticky. Take a couple off and just try them. You'll never use them all up anyway, so just take a couple off and just try them. When you're wearing makeup and then the things are stuck on top, you will find that they will get less tacky, especially if you've got to move them around a bit before you're happy with the way they are set. you know, each time you do that, you take off a bit of foundation on it, and then they stick less. So do make sure yours are sticky. I've had ones that are just not sticky at all, and so I keep an extra spare set in my bag just in case. That does happen. I've also got lash glue which I can use to help stick them on if they fall off, but just bear that in mind. It's better to have them all nice and sticky and ready to just plonk on the skin than have to faff around with it on the day. Yeah, I can't stress how important it is to keep everything together. I had a bride who had real diamonds. I think 3 sets. I was there all day, and one of the mother kept, it was in a hotel room, and the mother kept taking each set away as she had each changed, but then by mistake she picked up the bag that I needed to put on the bride for the next sort of event. And what happened was that nobody could find that bag, and she missed the beard. The beard couldn't be found on the wedding day. So you know, do make sure that everything is in one place, and that you know where things are. I can't stress how important that is. Another thing is, if you're wearing gajra, just don't cut them into pre-cut pieces, because by the time the hairstyle's fallen, you might need them a bit longer, especially after the dupatta goes on. Another example of a dodgy post. You know, just pulling the back off of that, you know, is enough to really upset that post. Sometimes when you buy jewellery, it's a shopkeeper's habit to wrap it up in tissue and then in a paper envelope like this. That's not going to keep your jewellery safe or keep it from any damage. Sometimes they offer you a little bag, a zip bag like this. This is beautiful because you can see exactly what's in it. But if you look carefully, some of these pieces are raised. And so if there's any pressure of anything sitting on top of that, that can potentially bend that post or break the necklace or smash any of the stonework behind it. So while that is beautiful, for an expensive wedding set, for example, I wouldn't keep them in there unless you know you're going to take proper care of it. The best ones are these, which is a plastic box. You can stack them, lay other sets on top, put it in a box where you're keeping everything on top as you collect your items for your wedding, and it's going to keep it from any damage. So I really hope this helps you brides-to-be, and do check out my other videos. I've got a playlist going which I add to every now and then. At the moment I've got things like choosing a makeup artist, how to look at portfolios, trials and things like that, but it's geared not just for makeup, other things as well, the whole shebang. So as I remember to add things to it, I'll do a new video. Take care, bye!